What's up, Twisted people? It's your girl here, Chauncey K. Robinson, aka Twisted Woman CKR. And I am joined here by the woman who made it all possible because she made me possible, Karen Robinson. Yes, my mama, y'all. Wakanda forever. I'm gonna tell you that's a very pretty color on you, lady.
Thank you.
She always has the prettiest, brightest color shirts. I love it. All right, y'all. So thank you for joining us. For those of you who are joining us in the live chat and also in the replay, it's always a pleasure to be talking what we're talking about today with you, which is Charmed, episode 16. We're on episode 16, y'all. We are, or is it 15? I think it's 16, right? It's 16.
I think it's 16.
Yeah, we are we're chugging along here in terms of the final few episodes of Charmed season 3. I think we have 18 episodes total, and this was episode 16. So we got like 2 more, right? We got
right, yeah.
So we got pretty much 2 more episodes. And funny enough, we are having a 2-week break after this episode that we just watched, everyone. I think the next episode 17, doesn't come out until July 16th. So you know how CW does with their breaks. So they're stretching it out. But as always, it's great to be talking Charmed with you all on this lovely Tuesday. I hope you all are staying cool out there. The temperatures are ridiculous all across the country at the time of this filming. Ray, thanks for joining us. I have something to say to you, Miss Prue and Mama Party, about the shenanigans of this episode. LOL. Yes, there was some shenanigans this episode. Blue Wolf, evening, ladies. Magic Me is asking, hello, do you guys plan to watch Motherland Fort Salem by any chance? You know, I've been wanting to catch that because I think they had their first season, right? I don't know if the first season finished or not. It seemed pretty interesting. I think it comes on Freeform, right? Or what used to be called I don't even know what the name of that channel is anymore. It used to be called ABC Family, then it became Freeform. I think it's still Freeform. I'm probably going to check it out. I don't know if I have to see if I like it first. I have to watch the first couple episodes to see if I'm actually going to be invested in it. Because, you know, getting invested in these TV shows is a lot of emotional drama, as we know with Charmed. It's a cool witch show. They kind of have like a witch army type thing going on, right? Yeah, it's on Freeform. It came out like some months ago. I don't know if they finished the first season yet, but I may. Hey, Damie, thanks for joining us. Edward is saying, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hot in New York. Yes, it is very hot. My mama is feeling it where she is in Jersey. And I am, honestly, I think LA kind of, knock on wood, we weren't as hot in Los Angeles proper. So that was a plus for us because we've only been having the 80s. While I know over in the East Coast, they've been dealing with high 90s and high above. And even in Seattle, of all places, that stays doom and gloom in terms of rain, they're dealing with triple digits. So that is a lot. I'm so sorry to hear that, Blue Wolf, about your air conditioner. That is rough. Oh my God. But seriously though, stay cool because heat exhaustion is a real thing. So you want to make sure you stay as cool as possible. Drink room temperature water, not freezing cold water, because that gets your body to cool it, to like heat itself up or something. So you don't want to do that. But yeah, stay cool out there. And we've been getting these heat waves in New York. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Jordan is also agreeing with Magic Me that Motherland is really good. Yeah, I might check it out. I saw some clips of it. I also know it's a quite diverse show too. They have some women of color leads, which is, I'm always down for that in the supernatural realm. Okay, y'all. So we watched episode 16 of Charmed season 3. First and foremost, let's talk about what our overall thoughts were and what grade would we give this episode. Lady, I want to start with you and let us know in the chat and also in the replay, y'all, comment section, what grade would you give this episode? And to put it in context, we are going towards the end of this season. This is when things should be revving up, things like that. What grade would you give it, lady? And what are your quick overall thoughts?
I gave it a B+.
Mm-hmm.
Overall thought was that, in this episode is good. And I think they're gonna cure Jordan, but I think like we was talking about, it's gonna be something else come in. Because when they had Abigail and her sister talk about their mother, my overall thought that's gonna be the big bad.
Mm. All right. So you are saying that you don't actually think Jordan is the real big bad of this season. It's
Yeah.
crazy that it's already the episode 16 and we're still trying to figure out who the big bad of this
But
season is.
anyway, but see, that's a good way how they doing this. I mean, here we're thinking that it's mainly him, but we know, we're talking about all together how he escaped. We find out all this, but then when you go to Abigail and her sister, think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think Mama is the big bad.
Okay, so you think Francesca, right, is the big bad of this
I think
episode?
she's it, but we gotta have another little plot where we gotta try to stop Jordan now.
But yeah, what else is going on there? Like, what is the conspiracy and whatnot? So we got A+ from Blue Wolf. Ray is giving it an A-. Yeah, and then Damie is saying B+. Jordan is also agreeing with you, lady, and say I agree with Mama. B+. Blue Wolf is saying I enjoyed the twist when we found out who the Whispering Evil was. Yes, yes. Okay, so
that was a shock.
I give this a B. I think this was a solid B episode. It's really interesting to me how this show gets me sometimes in terms of I can like maybe 80% of an episode, but then that 20% that makes me think of where they might be going with the plot line can really ruin it for me. I was happy to also see the twist. I just want to say, if we go back to some of my previous streams, I called it how cool it would be if Jordan wasn't evil, if Jordan pulled an angel, right? For those of you who are my Buffy people out there, I thought it would be so cool if this actor got to play evil, and how much of a turbulent kind of situation that would be for him and Maggie if Maggie had to battle off with Jordan if he had turned evil or had been turned evil. So I just want to say that I called it that would be interesting, and I am happy to see that they're doing it that way. Yet I am a little worried about where this is going and we'll talk about it with ship talk and everything, because I will be so annoyed if they end up putting Maggie with Antonio. I'm so weirded out that he is still an option, even though just episodes ago she clearly made her decision that she wanted Jordan and not Antonio. Yet somehow they are still playing this angle that she is somewhat being in denial about her being attracted to this guy. I don't know why we're doing that. And that really just kind of spoiled that for me a little bit, because I feel like the situation with Maggie and Jordan could be so epic and so cool and so good of drama and that drama that you can get, the angst, but we can't really fully enjoy it because we have to worry about the fact that they may be using this as some sort of excuse to move Jordan out the way and bring Antonio into Maggie's life. And I would think that would really squander this plot line, this great plot twist that they have. Make it about the fact of this relationship. Like, why would you add it so that this could be some reason why she would choose Antonio over Jordan? You don't have to bring Antonio in it. The fact that he is still in this is so weird to me. I don't know why they're still holding that on. And that kind of just spoiled it a little bit for me, because I'm like, why is this still a thing? Why are you doing this? That's not good. And I just worry. And also because of much as I think plenty of people love the Jordan character, it would just be such a squandering of his character as a way to just kind of do away with them. And this show doesn't have the best track record when it comes to how they tie up plot lines, and sometimes the most like blunt kind of without finesse sort of way. And I worry this is what we might be getting with Jordan if this doesn't go well enough. So I am not here for that. And that kind of that spoiled it for a little bit for me, but everything else I enjoyed. I enjoyed everything else about this episode. I enjoyed the Harry and Macy time. I enjoyed finding out a little bit about Harry's past. I enjoyed Jordan being evil, you know, the way he was playing it and stuff like that. I love that aspect. And I really enjoyed, of course, the Mel and Abigail situation. I really enjoyed all of that. I just worry that this may be some roundabout way for them to do away with Jordan for some reason and bring in this Antonio angle that no one is asking for. So that kind of did it. So I'm going to have to give it a solid B, only because of my own overthinking brain, that because of their track record, I don't trust them to do this well. I don't trust it, y'all. Edward is saying, I gave this episode an A-. Overall, it hit all the notes I was looking for with Mel and Abby, Maggie and Jordan, and Hasty forever. Yes. Magic Me, yes, I'd say a B as well. Ray is saying, I enjoy Abby's storyline, Mel and villain reveal, but it's always to Kate. Ray is saying, I enjoyed the Abby storyline and Mel storyline. Yes, I wanted the Angel storyline for Jordan, and I need him to get locked up in this tomb. Best story to tell. This show needs real stakes. Damien was saying, while watching, I guess the host was either Harry or Jordan, and it was Jordan. Yeah, it was very sad. I'm glad it was Jordan because it gives something cooler, but I worry of what that might mean for this character. Melania is saying, this episode gave me Clue, mystery, whodunit vibes. Yes. Blue Wolf is saying, Antonio gets 2 thumbs down. We agree. We don't ship this. I don't know if anybody's really a fan of that character to think Maggie needs that kind of romance. I don't think anyone's here for that. Damien saying, I agree with you, Chauncey. I never liked Antonio as Maggie's guy. I don't know why they're pushing this. This is so weird. Blue Wolf is saying, I also think they're setting Jordan up to be a white lighter. That would also be cool. Damien is saying, I don't like what they did to Harry this season and now Jordan. Why can't we just have healthy love stories? Good point. Johnson saying, the whole thing with Jordan is giving season 1 the hair bringer, and I hope they don't kill him off like they did the same with Galvin. Yeah, I hope they don't do it either. I do think that Jordan is a bit more popular than Galvin was. I think he's a lot more popular than Galvin was. Mm-hmm. And because of that, I don't see them doing away with him in that regard, but I do worry about it as well. And I just don't think the optics of that looks very good, to be honest with you. Like, this would be the second time they killed a man of color on this show who was like somewhat of a supporting character. Like, don't keep doing that. Do better with a character like that. Don't do that. 401 Felix is saying, Jordan seemed really different when he entered the house, but just relaxed and refreshed like he went on a retreat.
Yeah, he's supposed to have.
401 Felix is also saying, the actor that plays the safe space manager, Swan, must have loved turning into a creature and hitting Harry with the fire extinguisher. Yeah, we love Swan too. We'd like to see more of Swan. Johns is also saying Antonio is unnecessary and came out of nowhere with the romance aspect. He really did. And we'll talk about it, but he also threw shade at Jordan when he was telling, like, oh, he's jealous of me. I don't know. I don't see how they're trying. I hope they don't think this is going to make us like this character in any kind of way, because too many people like Jordan for us to be okay with the character coming in saying what they're saying. Antonio, Ray is saying, Antonio is happening. This is charmed. LOL. Maggie is too young to be with him right now. This isn't the good witch. We need some adults, people growing angst and struggles, not the way that I get married witch. I don't know the last line, Ray. I'm not sure what that means, but I get what you're saying, that you're saying that this is the thing where Maggie is young, so they can't put her with the right guy yet, so they have to do the Antonio thing. I just think that's silly. I got to disagree with you there, Ray. I just think that with all the hoopla they put around Maggie growing up and making the right decisions and things like that, and better decisions for herself, I don't see why they need to do that. And I think it also is lazy storytelling, to be honest. I think you can have quality, good stories for characters without making it so that they are playing around. This was the same thing with Macy and Harry, right? Where they added this love triangle thing and people were like, why do you have to do that? They have enough of a situation with themselves. You don't need a third person here to make this kind of a weird dynamic. And I also would argue that Mel is already having this situation because they're clearly building something with Abby, but we still have Ruby there. So we've already got this weird kind of possible rich situation going on. I don't think they need to do it with Maggie, especially since they had us wait a year and a half for her and Jordan. We haven't even gotten a kiss with these characters yet, let alone needing a third party, you know? Blue Wolf is saying, who knew that Jordan had been infected since the Tomb of Chaos? Yeah, Damien saying, glad to see Swan. Damien saying, I know evil Jordan is intriguing to some people, but I don't like it. I prefer kind, benevolent Jordan that is always giving therapeutic advice. Yeah. And I think also, Damien, though, I would say this is why this twist was so good, because they knew how much it would be. Because if they had made it so it was Antonio, right, no one would care. We'd all be like, oh, yeah, this is a great way. Just kill this guy off, right? But they made it so that it was someone we really cared about. And that way the stakes are higher. Now, we still want him to do well and do good because he's done so well for his life. It would be wrong for him to end up in the Tomb of Chaos forever just to be able to do away with this whispering evil. That's not fair, nor is it right. And I will contend, I'm not trying to make this a social issue, but I just think it's the optics of, once again, doing away with one of your male black leads, co-leads or whatever, just does not look good. And that would be the second time they did that, and it's not a good look. But you know, those are my thoughts on that. So I gave it a B. You gave it a B plus, lady. A B plus. Okay, so let's talk about what actually happened this episode. But also, before we get to that, y'all let us know what y'all thoughts are. Do you think that this is some way that they're doing away with Jordan? Do you think, like what my mom is saying, that maybe the Whispering Evil isn't even the real big bad this season, that it may be Abigail's mother that, you know, ends up being the real big bad, or the one with the bigger issue going on? So let's see, you know, what that may be. But let us know in the chat, y'all, and also in the replay what you think, and if you think this might also be a red herring. All right, so let's talk about the main things that happened this episode. We had the Whispering Evil and the Jordan reveal. We had the situation with Harry, which was a little bit more of a subplot. And then we had the Mel, Abby, and Waverly situation. So let's talk about Harry real quick, because I think we can. That was probably the smallest one. What did you think of that, Mom, that we ended up finding out, like, he was having problems sleeping, and Harry was worried that if he went back to being human, that he may become the guy he used to be? What did you think of that? Did you think that was out of nowhere? Did you like that aspect? What did you think of Harry's little plot line this episode?
Yeah, when he was telling he was a womanizer.
Yeah.
And he borrowed money and then paid people back, you know, like that. But he was thinking that, I guess he figured he was gonna go back and he was trying to make her see that I might cheat on you or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking too, well, no, they wouldn't have picked you if you didn't do something right somewhere. So you wasn't bad, but you just saw that other part. You know, he said he didn't want to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't really see anything else. He always woke up when that came to a part of something.
Yeah.
So he didn't really play all the way out. But I don't know. I'm with him. Like he said, what if he gave up his power and it's not the way it's supposed to be? I don't think he should give. I'm still out on that. I don't think he should have gave up his power.
Yeah.
He can't orb. Right. Like I said, he can't orb no more.
Yeah. Damien saying Harry can't orb anymore. I miss his white lighter powers. Yeah, I think.
I mean, they missed that. I don't think they did that right.
Yeah, I like the plot line because it did kind of do a throwback to the Harry we learned who he possibly was in season 2, that he had a whole other family and he was a womanizer and he wasn't the best kind of guy. But I did like that they showed that even at his heart, even though he made some really bad decisions in his original human life, he actually was a pretty good guy at the heart, because the way he died was saving somebody else. He wasn't so selfish and heartless. He actually had a heart. Yeah. And I thought that was good that they kind of tied that up in saying that there's no reason to worry about who you might be, because at your heart you've always been a decent person, a decent soul. So I thought that was good. I also like that we kind of got a call back when Macy and him talked, of Macy saying, I know what it feels like to deal with the darkness, a part of yourself, and talking about her demon side. Do I like the fact that they still seem to be referring to people's demon side as the dark part of themselves?
Yeah.
I still think that's weird, because we know that all demons aren't necessarily just straight up. They just aren't like light and love. They're just kind of like darker tinged in that sense. So it's a little weird that Macy is still kind of referring to her demon side as sort of this thing, this entity that has to be dealt with. And I would love for them to be able to still they kind of dropped the ball in Macy being able to deal with her demon side, but it was nice to hear her refer to it in talking to Harry. But I thought it was a nice little thing. Although I feel like with this whole Harry becoming human thing, they keep finding some other thing about something with him. Oh, what if I come out as, my old self, James, and so on and so forth. And I'm just like, well, it's kind of late to be kind of thinking about all of this now. None of you weighed the odds. You all just kind of rushed into you taking that serum instead of thinking and sitting down for maybe a couple of weeks or months trying to figure this out, So it's a little weird that they have him having the trepidation now. But at least it's happening, I guess. And I agree with you, Ma. I don't want him to become human. I think he would end up becoming a liability.
Yeah.
And I think Macy had a chance at a human boyfriend, right, with Galvin, and none of us in season 1 cared for that. We were all kind of like, we think Macy's, such a cool, powerful witch that she should maybe be with someone who kind of matches that. And now, which I think is one of the reasons why the Hasty ship came about, also because we, love their chemistry. But then somewhere they are kind of turning him into, the human boyfriend. It was like, we didn't want that.
Yeah, he was a human. I mean, he was okay as a white lighter. I mean, really, see, they messed that up. Now,
I feel like they created this whole thing of him being worried about him and Macy not being able to grow old together for this particular thing of him becoming human. And it just felt forced from the very beginning, because they haven't even been able to date for all of a year straight without having to deal with the apocalypse before they can start dealing with what if we can't grow old together and have kids. It just seemed kind of premature right now, but that's where we're at with it. But it was a nice touch to find out that, even in his past life, he was a good guy. So, Caddis is saying, thanks for joining us in chat, Caddis. I like the short return of James Westwell. I thought the flashback scene was well done. I agree. Blue Wolf is saying, are they setting us up for Macy and Harry breaking up by him becoming human and becoming the cheater that he used to be? I don't think so, because it was very clear that, that was his way of saying, I was still a good person. I'm not exactly that person anymore. And I don't see him doing that. I don't see him either becoming that.
With Abigail.
Caddis is saying, I think he'll get his powers back somehow in some complicated and convoluted way. Ray is saying, LOL, there are so Harry apologists who did the same thing as his best self again with Macy and Abby and Charity, because he had feelings for her when he was with Charity because she could read his mind. Well, I don't know. I don't think it's exactly the same. I see the parallel that maybe Harry is something of a cheater, even in his current one, because when he was with Charity, he had feelings for Macy, but he never really acted on those feelings for Macy, though. He was very much with Charity until he found out she was evil. So I don't think it's exactly the same. Harry, when he was James, had a whole other family, like he totally acted on it. Because, having temptations and thoughts and stuff doesn't inherently mean you're a bad person. It doesn't inherently mean you're this or that. And I make that connection with Maggie as well, with her and her lust. And that's what I think of it as with Antonio. It's lust. Maybe she's attracted to him. But what makes the difference between you being attracted? Because everyone has a pulse. We see celebrities all the time that we're attracted to. Doesn't mean it's like, oh, if I got the chance, I'd cheat on my person with this celebrity or something. Maybe some people would, but I think it's about choice. Just because you have those feelings doesn't mean that it means that you have to act on them. And I think we've seen that with Harry, that he's a human guy, he's a guy, but he doesn't have to go into his impulses, which was what his old self used to do. Edward is saying Harry's plotline is interesting before it showed the human part of him on full display. 401 Felix is saying, what's Macy's active power? I remember she was blocked, and that's why she originally got rid of her demon powers. But what did she get for her new active power? She basically can move stuff again. That was her powers before, right? Wasn't her powers that she could move things? And now she's back to being able to move things. Yeah. So once again, I think it's a little bit of a downgrade, because when Macy had those powers of fire and she could move things, she was pretty powerful. And for whatever reason, they kind of declawed her. Damien saying the line they gave him is that he wants to grow old with Macy, but Fiona's mortality was stripped and she kept her powers. Exactly. I don't know. It seems a little different, but then again, that was a different season and different writers, so maybe they're just not staying consistent. Jordan is saying, I think Harry should go off and live his mortal life with his descendants, and they should bring Jimmy back to the White Lighter. I don't know. I don't think the Hasty fans would like him going off somewhere. And 401 Felix is asking, and I think this is a good question, 401, do y'all think the others will get their original's power back, like their original powers back, like Mel?
I think so.
You think that's happening, lady?
Yeah, that might happen because, I think Mel got the power back because of the baby. Because now she can do time. She can stop.
Yeah. And Waverly even said, and we'll talk about it, Waverly said that it could be her powers returning because of the hormones, or it could be the baby. We're not sure, so we won't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jaws is also saying Macy don't even be using her telekinesis anymore, to be honest. And Jaws is saying they're all supposed to get their original powers back. One can hope. And Blue Wolf is saying it seems like telekinesis is a basic witch power, because Waverly had the same power as telekinesis. Yeah, so it seems like, that's something that a lot of, this is the thing though, what makes them distinct is the question, right? Because all this, I think they kind of messed themselves up, because all this changing of powers, getting new powers getting taken away. As the charm ones, they were all three supposed to have distinct powers that most other witches didn't have, right? Or really powerful versions of powers that other witches have.
Yes.
And for some reason, I feel like they just kind of demoted that to simply being, we can join together for the power of three. But that's not how it was supposed to be. It's supposed to be the power of three, but it's also supposed to be y'all as individuals are super friggin' powerful.
Yes.
And yet I haven't felt like, aside from Maggie's powers of putting emotions on people, and now Mel being able to get freeze time again, I guess, which is kind of little by little because she lost it for so long. It's just been, Macy's been defamed in that regard. And I'm just kind of like, they need to get this in order when it comes to these characters' powers, because they're supposed to be the most powerful witches ever. And I don't get that sense from them. All we've been doing is using potions and mess. Which I don't mind, but it's like they also are supposed to be inherently powerful too. And they got lost with all this changing of powers and things like that. Yeah.
But wait a minute. So that means, but they couldn't use their powers against Jordan because it didn't work.
Well, because he's an ancient power, so it didn't.
Because remember, she tried to do something.
Yeah. Because he's an ancient force, so their regular powers don't work on him like that, because he's way powerful, which is also kind of ridiculous to me, because they're the charm ones.
That's what I'm saying. So if the charm ones, if they locked the charm ones up in the tomb too, so they must have known that he existed, and somehow somebody put him in there, even though she said that the
Perfecti did.
Perfecti, but Perfecti had help from the charm ones to get.
No.
You don't think so?
I think it was just the Perfecti that did it. You might be right, but he seemed to just say the Perfecti. He didn't say anything about charm ones. And the charm ones, the ancient charm ones, were killed by that golem thing. So that's what the Perfecti did against them. But the Harry's plot line it's going along. I don't know. I feel like right now we may honestly get a human Harry come season 4, because it seems like they're going through a lot to make it so that he becomes human. And it would seem kind of weird that they do that thing that they like to do with plot lines here, of just basically saying, oh, no, never mind. I mean, this was his plot line for most of the season at this point. So I don't know. Before we move on to the next topic, y'all, be sure to like this video if you haven't already, because, you know, the algorithm monster of YouTube loves to get fed, and your sacrifice of your like is always appreciated here. And also, I'd like to say, y'all, I'm starting to do some different stuff on the channel as well. Of course, still with the horror, supernatural, and sci-fi. But I want to let y'all know that I will also be doing some videos that deal with real horror and real sci-fi stuff of the real world and things like that, and connecting it to fictional stuff. So be on the lookout for those videos. And I got a YouTube short, y'all. I did my first YouTube short. So if you want to check it out, I'm doing YouTube shorts now. And I put my first one up, a little silly thing on dating edition horror. Dating problems horror style. So check that out if you haven't already, and give that a thumbs up and share it around as well. Help that YouTube short get some circulation as I try something different with it. All right, lady. So let's move on to Mel, Abby, and Waverly. All right. So they've been doing some great casting with Abby's family. I'll give them that, because Francesca is really great. That was great casting as Abigail's mother, very much believable. And I could definitely believe that Waverly, especially in making her blonde and everything, was kind of the good version of Abigail in a way, the more light daughter. Yeah. What did you think of that plot line? You know, the fact that Abigail ends up over Mel's house asking for help, of course, and they have a whole thing. And then we find out that Francesca is actually sending someone out against Waverly to get Waverly's child. Yeah. And somehow use that child's power for, like, I guess, I mean, Waverly doesn't even know. Waverly's like, maybe it's for some type of, youth spell or something like that. So it seems like Francesca, this is another thing of us being told that Francesca is very much evil and that Abigail, came from an evil mother, and that may influence the way she is. What did you think of that whole dynamic?
I liked it. Well, I like so they're British, right?
Yes.
I like to hear her talk. She talked good. But I thought it's a good plot line, and the way they brought it in, and the way they went to Mel. And I like the conversation between Mel and Abigail.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in ship. Yeah.
Oh, we got to talk about that in ship then. But anyway, her sister didn't trust her because she said, "You burnt me." She said, "Yeah, but it was mom." In a way, I believe it was her mother's fault too, because you didn't let me out. So how is she supposed to react to you? Yeah. And then that wasn't right, because she never gave Abigail a chance to, tell her side of the story. But it was good. I think they're gonna end up being, like I said, they're gonna end up fighting their mother.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely coming there. And the question is, are the charm ones going to be drawn into having to fight Francesca as well? What is Francesca up to? Sending demon goons after her own grandchild. Edward saying, I agree with Chauncey. The actors playing Abby's mom and sis is spot on. Ray is saying the best part of this whole episode is Abby's storyline and family problems. They said she wanted the baby's powers. I liked this plot line as well. I know I love the fact that they connected it to Mel, because it helped Mel also deal with some of her issues, and Abigail was there for Mel. And we'll talk about kind of the flirty thing they were doing in ship talk. But as Carmelita is pointing out, our baby, as Abigail said to Mel, and saying, oh, that, what is she doing as our baby? That was great. We love it. We love it because we ship them. I like the dynamic. I know because last, stream, it did get heated. in the sense that there are people who very much are not for Abigail always seemingly having a plot line every episode that kind of, takes up in some people's minds as much time as the charm ones. But with that said, I do think they're doing a good job in connecting them to the sisters. And in this situation with Mel, I enjoyed it. I liked Waverly. I also thought it was very cute when Waverly was like, "Oh, is this one of your new girlfriends? One of your
Yeah.
latest girlfriends?" The whole thing of, I loved everyone's reaction to Mel's pregnancy. Like even, Jordan or whispering Jordan, and then Abigail being like, "Whoa, when did that happen?" Things like that. It was good. I hope that it's not a dead end in the sense of why Francesca was going after Waverly's baby, because that seems kind of random, if you ask me, to introduce Waverly. Although Waverly did explain to Mel about the powers of the baby, where she was like, it could be, the baby having magical powers, because there's a lot of magic swirling in there, or it could be your own hormones that reactivated your time freezing powers.
Mhm.
And so it was really great to see Mel, because Mel was having issues. She was like, I'm a fighter. How am I supposed to be, a mother when all I've known how to do is fight? How am I supposed to have a motherly vibe? And I thought it was good that, there was kind of this idea of, kind of tackling what motherhood really looks like, that it doesn't have to be, oh, my sweet child all the time, that, her being a warrior, her being there and wanting to defend others and to save the world for her child makes her also motherly. So I enjoyed that. I thought that was really good. Although I know for some people it might get dismissed because it was an Abby adjacent plot line, and not everyone's, the biggest fan of giving Abby, that kind of screen time. Damien is saying, I thought she'd be insecure and damaged because of Abby setting her on fire, but she's not. Yeah, I thought Waverly would be a little bit less, a little bit more like meek or something. But I like the fact that she was kind of like, I'm having my life. And, it's funny because the way they kind of presented it was as though Waverly had got disfigured or something, and in reality, burns,
it was just
on any part of your body, it's still traumatic, of course. And I wouldn't ever want to downplay that just because it's not the face for anybody who's a burn victim or anything like that. But it was also interesting because the way they were playing it was that like her whole body had somehow, like her face and everything, and it seemingly was her arm. Yeah. Carmelita is saying it's because Waverly's daughter has eternal beauty powers. I don't know. Did they say that? I don't know if that was mentioned at all. I might have missed it. Maybe. That could be something. Yeah. Hey, Zay. Hey, Mercenary. Thanks for joining us in the chat as well. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to see what you all are saying in there about this particular plot line. Blue Wolf is saying Francesca played both of her daughters against each other. She definitely did. And we are seeing that this character is a force. I thought when we saw Francesca, when, they brought her in for the trial, she definitely made an impact on me. And I even said it. I was like, I could see this character turning into a big bad somewhere later on. I could definitely see that. Do I think it should be this season? I don't know necessarily, because I just think they need to pick a lane, because this season has felt a little all over the place. And I don't want someone coming in, what do you call it, at the ninth inning, if they call it that, kind of suddenly this person's the big bad in the last two episodes. I feel like the season should have really been building on a big bad throughout like the second half of the season until now. And instead we kind of got the whispering evil that was introduced like last episode, and now it's here. So I'm not really sure about that. Carmelita is saying, yeah, they said the baby had eternal beauty powers, and then Francesca got obsessed with them. That's why she sent the demon to get the baby. Okay. I thought it was like a youth spell. I didn't know it was because particularly the baby had a particular power. Thank you for that, Carmelita. Mercenary is saying, I had this vibe. I had that vibe. I had this vibe with that Waverly was younger, like a teenager. I was surprised that she was around the same age as Abby. Yeah, exactly. And that makes you put in perspective that Abby must have did that mistaken kind of fire thing when she was very young. And so, she really just like lets you know even more. She didn't know what she was doing that young. And it just puts more in perspective of how much abuse that Abigail had to deal with from her mother. So, yeah. Damien is calling it now, saying Francesca is the big bad for season 4. They are setting her up for that. I can see it. Which, this is funny though, y'all, because there's been that, I don't know if it's wishful thinking on some people's part, but there's been people saying that Poppy, who plays Abigail, the actor that plays Abigail, is that she's leaving the show. But this is the thing. Why keep building up Francesca if you're going to get rid of the character, one of the main characters that is connected to the potential big bad, right? So I don't know, y'all. I think that kind of speaks against the idea that Abigail will be leaving the show. Although I know that's a thing that keeps recurring with people, that people keep saying that, Poppy's last episode is episode 17 and whatnot. Yeah, so I liked it. I have more to say with ship talk when it comes to Mel and Abigail a little later, but I thought it was good. I thought we got this idea of Mel being able to come to grips with being a mother, and I think if nothing else, she could say I would never be a Francesca. So that was good, and I like Abigail, and I will argue, and I can see why some people would have issues with it, but I would argue that Abigail's plotline and arc is probably one of the best written and most thorough plot lines of this season. And that's saying something, for better or worse, right? Because that it's good, and I like that it's written out, and I like that it's thorough, but I will also be a devil's advocate in saying that it really shouldn't be the one that's the most thorough and written out. It really should be one of the charm ones who have the most thorough and written out arc of any season. And yet the most thorough and written out and followed through and, actually getting a return of investment kind of storyline that we've had has been Abby. Now, I've enjoyed it, but I will also on the other end say, why is a supporting character getting that much? And, honestly, the charm ones plot lines have been lacking, particularly Macy. So, yeah. All right. So we like that. So now let's get to the big reveal of this episode, which was the whispering evil. And it was Jordan. What did you think of that, Mom? What did you think of the reveal that it was Jordan the whole time? And whatnot.
So Jordan must have got scratched when they went into the space place, because he was okay when he came knocking on the door.
No.
So he had the whispering on him when he came through that door too.
Yes. The whispering evil latched onto him when he was stuck in the tomb.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was trying to figure out how. But when did he get where he wasn't out of their sight? But then, still don't make. Well, anyway, I said, damn.
There's a few plot holes with this. And I'm gonna have to call it out as a writer. There's some as a story lover. Let's call me that. There's a few plot holes with this. One in particular. Which is the fact that if Jordan has been the whispering evil since he came out of the tomb, and if we're to believe that it's been about a couple of weeks or at least a week or two since he left.
Away, so.
Yes, he went away and he comes back, and that is when he seemingly starts to infect people. Now, mind you, it's been said that he said it, whispering evil Jordan said it, that the whispering evil had latched onto him when he came out, when he was in the tomb. So ever since he's gotten out of the tomb, he has been whispering evil. Yeah. He went away. why wait till he comes back to start infecting people?
Hello.
Why wasn't he infecting people when he went to Colorado? If this is a whole thing of getting the world out there and things like that, why wait till he comes back to safe space in front of the charmed ones? I just think that's a plot point. I just think that's a plot hole.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. That's why when you said that he was infected when he came out the tomb, I'm understanding that, but when you know if somebody came, if you know you brought somebody out the tomb, if it was in there, but no, they put the perfecti back in there. Then.
Yeah.
I
just it doesn't make sense, and I can see why you would ask that question and why you would think that he had got infected only when he got back. Because why, if you are this whispering evil in the whole time, why, first of all, why come back to where the charmed ones who could possibly vanquish you are? Why come back? I didn't understand that. Why come back there anyway? And then why not just start your reign in Colorado? You got to leave town. No one knew who you were and what was going on. You could have started a whole new life doing the whispering evil in Colorado, yet they made it so he did it. He came back and started it at safe space.
But wait a minute. But did he get knocked out? That's what I'm trying to think.
What are you talking about? He did get knocked out, but he was playing them.
But wait a minute.
He was playing them the whole time.
Yeah.
None of that was real.
Then who was that on the thing on the last season making that noise?
What, like last episode?
Yeah.
It was him. He was standing on the rooftop making that noise. It was him. It was him all along. The question is, why did he wait till he came back to start doing the whispering evil thing? He was literally out of state. He could have just started it. Why do it in safe space right in front of them? Didn't really make much sense to me exactly, because he was all like, I just needed, when Whispering Jordan, I'll call him Whispering Jordan instead of regular Jordan. When Whispering Jordan talks to Maggie after she gets the vision, he says, I was just trying to distract you all to buy myself some time to create so that my soldiers would grow more. Yeah. But he's been doing that in Colorado. They weren't even around. It didn't make much sense. I don't know if this was a last minute decision, like after it's like, oh, let's make him it. But I'm not, I'm not trying to throw shade at it. I'm just like, I don't know if they thought that through. Because wouldn't it have made more sense for him to stay around and just be like, hey, I'm just going to take a break for like a day in my house and just stay away from safe space? Why go out of state but only start doing the Reign of Terror when you get back? Kamalita is saying in the chat, I agree. I think they struggle to develop the charm ones. And I will say something polemic, but I think reducing Macy to Hasty was one of the biggest mistakes they ever did. All right. That's Kamalita's thought on what I was saying about the other thing with them. Zay is saying maybe he's trying Jordan to get his enemies out of the way first. Maybe. But I mean, to go against the charm ones and you just only have a few, he could have been getting the whole state of Colorado around him and had a whole army to go after them, right? Yeah, he came back to just do the people in safe space. Yeah, I don't know, y'all. Liliana, thanks for joining us in the chat. It's saying, hearing Jordan was infected, I assumed he could have already been infecting people since he left. Hello, by the way. Hello as well. I agree. That's what I thought. But the way they were making it seem was as though he wanted to distract the charm ones while his army grew stronger. But I was like, if it only took a day for that to happen, couldn't he have been building a huge army in Colorado and brought them with him? Like called them to him when he was fighting them? It just seemed weird. I would assume that too, Lilian, but the way he had worded it made it seem like he just started infecting people. Edward saying he could have infected people for a while and just turned them on. Another plot hole, I guess. Yeah. Sure. But it is sort of a plot hole, Liliana is saying. Edward is saying that the Whispering Evil may want to be in Macy, who is the strongest human witch, assumed to be demon. That may be a thing. Maybe the end goal is for the the Whispering Evil to not possess Jordan, but to possess one of the Charmed Ones. I can see that. I can see that being his reason for coming back, or that the entity's reasons for coming back to Safe Space would be to try to be like, I want to possess one of the Charmed Ones because that would make me super powerful. I guess we'll see what the big plan is. Although the way Whispering Jordan kind of made it seem was that he simply was out there because, you know, he was mad the Perfecti put him away for 20,000 years and he was just ready to like live his most chaotic life. So I don't know if there's some bigger plan to kind of take over the world or anything. Not sure. Damien saying, well, the Whispering Evil is confident that the Charmed One's powers won't work on him. So he just walks in where the challenge is, the Charmed Ones. Blue Wolf is saying, Whispering Evil Jordan can't be vanquished just like that. Who's to say he wasn't infecting people when we didn't see him? That's the thing, though. I want to believe that. That would make more sense. But why go specifically to Safe Space? Why go to the Charmed Ones and do all that there? He could have been infecting the college. He could have been infecting so many other places, yet he chose to start infecting there to get on their radar. Not sure. I don't know, y'all. I like the reveal. It just didn't make much sense to me that that's when he would start doing stuff, you know. Also, the Whispering Evil. I mean, we saw 5 years in the future that the Whispering Evil gets to take over in a way. Although when Whispering Jordan kind of talked, like I said, it made it seem like he wasn't necessarily trying to like be like all over everybody, but he kind of just wanted to do his own thing, I guess, and have his legion. So I don't know. But I did like the fact that Jordan was revealed to be it. I just also think it's weird that he just started his reign when he comes back to Safe Space.
But I missed that part. Why didn't the Truth Serum work on him?
Because he is an ancient evil. Or ancient, he's not evil. I don't want to call it evil per se. He's an ancient entity. And because he's so ancient, their potions and stuff won't work on him. Why their powers won't work on him is a little confusing to me. Because yes, the potions and stuff, which are kind of like new age type stuff, that wouldn't. But the Charmed Ones are once again the Charmed Ones. Why wouldn't their powers even like work a little bit on this guy?
That's what I'm saying.
Damien is saying Colorado's too small for him. that could be it. Ray is saying, where are the spells and witchcraft like OG Charm? Where is the mythology and world building and magical community? I think it's there. I just think they kind of, I will give them the space that this season was somewhat had to be made small because of what we was dealing with the pandemic. So I'm not gonna say, why isn't it bigger? Why didn't they bring in a whole bunch of more people per se? But I think in season 1 they did a pretty good job of creating, because we had a whole bunch of other entities. We had fairies and things like that in season 1. I would argue that season 1 had a way bigger world building than the next 2 seasons gave us, unfortunately. But maybe season 4 might change now that, the world seems to be getting back. Blue Wolf is saying the Whispering Evil is immune to magic. Okay. But then the question then is, Blue Wolf, how did the Perfecti put him in the tomb?
Yeah.
How did the Perfecti do that? Kamalita is saying the infected can infect other humans, so it's like a pandemic. Evil Jordan is not even needed anymore to finish humanity. That's very true. They can infect anybody. Zay is saying perhaps the Whispering Jordan wanted to be the mustache twirling bad guy who tells his plans to his enemies while not doing much until they learn about him. That could be it. Liliana is saying it does feel like they typed into the world building stuff in season 1 a bit into season 2 with the demon world, and season 3 felt like it suffered due to the pandemic. Yeah, I agree. Blue Wolf is saying I believe they said the Whispering Evil is based off of African mythology. I could see that. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool. So maybe they might have, and this might be a great way, because I was saying how, they were talking about Bruja and stuff like that. This would be such a great way to tap into African magic or African American magic, which would be like hoodoo. Hoodoo is very specific, not voodoo, hoodoo with an H, is very specific to African American magic practice here in the United States. So that would be very cool if they tapped into that. Um, I would actually really love that, because as someone who has actually like read and stuff about hoodoo and things like that, I think that's something we don't normally see on television, and I think that would be a great thing to see. Edward is saying, true, it's weird that the Perfecti could put him in the tomb, but the Charm One's magic is null. But the Charm One can beat the Perfecti. Exactly. Plot point, plot hole. I don't know, y'all.
They're not writing this too well.
Yeah. it's been a season. Okay. So I like the reveal, the whole thing, with them trying to figure it out, trusting Jordan, all that was great. And like I said, him being the Whispering Evil definitely raises the stakes, because so many people love Jordan as a character, and so this is gonna have people invested in seeing where things are gonna go. Zay is saying, what I'd like to see is for the Whispering Evil to make demons and witches join together to stop him, which would be rub Francesca the wrong way and cause her to be the next big bad for season 4. I can see that. I definitely think we need to get to the point where it's not so much witches versus demons all the time, because that does get old after a bit. So it would be good to see. I know in season 2, going into season 3, they made it so it was more of like a power-hungry human that people had to worry about, but that didn't hold the same punch. So having some ancient entity kind of be the thing, I think would also be cool. All right, y'all. So let's get to ship talk. Ship talk. Yeah, ship talk, y'all. Before we get into that, though, if you haven't already, please do give this video a like, comment when we finish if you're in the live chat, and also if you're in the replay, comment with your theories and things like that. What did you think of the reveal of Jordan? Do you think it was a good choice? Do you think there's something else going on? Do you think there's someone else pulling the strings besides Whispering Jordan? Let us know. That's always, we always love hearing from y'all. Liliana is saying, I'm liking the choice of an evil Jordan, I must say, because I've seen some people say they dislike it. I like that they did this with a Jordan as much as people love Jordan. Exactly. Ray is saying, I think I was really wanting people of color magic like OG emphasized Wicca and European folk magic. Josefina raised my hopes, but I feel like it's a magical Arrowverse show with powers. Okay. Kamalita saying, give Maggie a break. All her love interests become a bad guy. I want Joggy. Yes, Kamalita. Speaking of ship talk, let's start with Maggie and Jordan, because I got things to say about that. I don't know, lady. Are you bored with Maggie and Jordan? Is that the yawn or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. So okay. So this is what I'm thinking. I love Maggie and Jordan. I think they really I thought they were doing such a great job in building them up and making us really see the foundation of who they are as two personalities, which is so rare sometimes in shows where you have this really strong bond between two characters before they get together. And sometimes, usually when you have characters like that, it's like the writers really never intended to put them together, but then the fans wanted them together. And that's kind of how we got Hasty, right? Everyone saw that chemistry between them and their strong bond and their kind of similarity. And people were like, this will work. Do this. I think with Maggie and Jordan, I think we kind of saw the same thing, but it was a long game, and I would just be so disappointed if after all of this, we haven't even gotten a kiss with these characters, nothing romantic outwardly in that sense, except that they have strong feelings for each other, for them to do away with Jordan and that they would then have Antonio come in. To me, Antonio, more and more in the last few times that we have seen him, has come off more and more like the comedy relief. In the last time when they had possessed Maggie dance with him and then he got hit upside the head, that was comedy relief to me. And now his aspect in this episode, which was funny, was also comedy relief. I can't take this character seriously as her love interest. Yes, he's a nice looking guy, but that's all they've got going for them right now in terms of a ship that I think more people would get behind. When it comes to Maggie, she even said it herself. She was like, I don't want to be with someone who makes me frustrated all the time. I want to be with someone who makes me feel safe. And that's where, and as Harry said, that's Jordan for you. You feel a secureness with Jordan. You care about Jordan. And let's put it out here that Maggie had a choice a couple episodes ago between Jordan and Antonio. She chose Jordan. Antonio put it out there. She didn't choose him. She could have chose him, or she could have said neither of you, but she chose Jordan. Okay. And if somehow this gets twisted where, okay, I chose Jordan, but then Jordan turns evil, I can't choose him anyway, so I guess I'll go with Antonio, that would be a consolation prize of a ship. And Maggie is one of the main characters. She doesn't need the consolation prize. She doesn't need the second choice. Now, I also know that Jordan, the actor that plays Jordan, he's big on Broadway. You know, he's an up and comer. He's a rising star. So there's also the question on whether or not this show can hold on to this actor, you know, for long enough. Who knows? But I hope they can for the consideration of this plot, because I just don't think Antonio and her are happening. I was just kind of weirded out that they were making it so that Maggie seemed to be saying, like, I just don't like what he's saying, you know, about us having such, you know, chemistry and things like that. Because it makes it seem like Maggie is in some weird denial about Antonio. But I don't think she's in denial. I think she's a grown woman making a decision that even though she may be attracted to a guy, she is also attracted and has stronger feelings for the other guy. And that's who she wants to be with. And I just think it would be such a reverse for this character if they make her go with a guy that's kind of like the other relationship she's had before. I don't see why you went through all this growth of her really wanting and making a strong decision to kind of go back with an Antonio situation. And also, you know, Antonio threw shade at Jordan. You know, it's like, stay away from my territory, which it wasn't even really Jordan that was whispering evil Jordan. But it was like, you know, he's jealous of us. He's jealous of our undeniable chemistry. You guys are friends without the benefits. This guy sounds like a little bit of a jerk. When he had got his church, he sounded like a little bit of a jerk. Is that who we want her to pick in the end? No. And I'm just
your benefits.
Yes. And I just really worry that this character is, you know, being made to kind of stick around for us or something. And I mean, he can stick around. I just don't think he should be with Maggie. And I'm just a little worried that the writers are not the most subtle people. And I worry that them having Maggie even think about it lends itself to maybe that's where they're going. And we don't need that. What do you think, lady?
No, we don't. I hope not. But then, like you said, but right now, I don't think that's going to matter. She's going to try to save Jordan.
Yeah.
So I figure out how to get the evil, how to get the whispering evil out of them, or how to better yet. I think they're going to go back to that board to figure out what they can do to do that. So I guess they're going to have to come up with some kind of like a vaccination.
Yeah, maybe that's where we get a vaccine for the whispering evil.
Yeah. So it have to be something that
very on the nose of today's world. Yeah. Mercenary is saying the Jordan situation gives me Galvin vibes. I hope not. Like I said, I keep saying this, but it would be really bad optics if they kill another black man on this show. Like, they don't keep sacrificing your black guy characters for other ships. Don't do that. That's just stupid. Like, no, it's just bad. Like, not that I ship Macy and Galvin, but they didn't need to kill him off either. You know what I mean? Like, it don't make much sense. Liliana is saying, yes, Carmelita, it is letting us see Jordan Danica play an evil character, and I'm okay with it, because Carmelita was saying earlier in the chat that she liked seeing that. I really doubt they would do something that results with him going away forever. Damie is saying, I want to believe that they will save Jordan and Joggy will happen. I agree. Ray is saying Maggie is in it now. She even saw the future with said guy and her sparks with him. Jordan is a friend, soon to be friend with benefits. It's a Ross and Rachel situation. I don't know. I mean, it's a Ross and Rachel situation, but Ross and Rachel were also in game. So, I mean, That's the couple that ended up being the one that lasted. So I would be for that. Joss is saying they built them up so well, and now they're slapping us in the face with this way back since the allergy being lifted and Maggie avoiding him until now. Yeah, they really seem to be not. They're just dragging it out at this point, and it's kind of weird. Joss is also saying they should have made Antonia her gay nemesis turned friend, and I'm sticking with that. I can see that. Ray is saying, I think seeing Macy and Galvin was powerful to see on screen and what they represent. No, I don't think that was it. They were a boring ship. that wasn't it. It wasn't that they were powerful. Macy and Galvin were a boring ship. That's why that didn't work. Yeah, Damien is saying Macy ain't trying to date no one. She had enough with guys and she's with Harry. That is very true. Yeah, so y'all, I'm still for Georgie. I still hope that it can happen. I love Evil Jordan. I think it gives us a lot of angst, and I just can't see Maggie going from him to Antonio. I mean, you don't go out with another guy just because the guy you chose turned evil. That's not a good reason to pick Antonio at all. And I just don't, other than their like, sexual chemistry, I guess, that they're trying to say that they have with Antonio and Maggie, I don't see anything else for them. So I'm not here for it. Okay, so moving on. And let us know in the chat, y'all. Let us know in the chat and also in the replay. Do you think that they're going to still be trying to push this Maggie and Antonio situation? Or do you think we will eventually get Georgie being together? At least before the end of season 3, or at least going into season 4. I'm hoping for it, but yes, I agree, Madame Scorpio. Antonio is thirsty, and he can be right that they have a chemistry and stuff, but it just seems like he's kind of, Maggie already told him she wasn't trying to do that, and he's still on some other stuff, and I'm just like, it just seems kind of desperate. I don't know why. I don't see how they could think we want to ship that. All right, y'all. So Harry and Macy, we didn't get much with them, but we did get a very nice conversation. And Harry seems to be still on his way to turning into a human. I guess we'll see in season 4 what that means for them. I feel like they've kind of been a couple in the background, even though we've had stuff for them, it's been kind of with all this allergy stuff, but we now know the allergy has been lifted, which was another plot point, y'all,
nice.
Which was
the hug.
They got the hug, which was really nice. The allergy being lifted, I will say, was anticlimactic to me, guys. I was like, after all of that, it's just a thing with this. Okay, sure. This was the whole season, but I'm glad it's gone. I'm not going to complain. It's over with. It was just anticlimactic the way we got rid of it. If that's all they had to end up doing. But they're still strong as ever. I just kind of don't want their next plot line to be all about Harry getting used to being human. And that's the next thing for Hasty, which is one of the other reasons why I didn't want him to turn human so quickly, because I just think that's going to end up being their plot for next season of him dealing with being human. And I don't think that gives them much space to grow, with that, Blue Wolf is saying some men don't know what no means in terms of Antonio. I agree with you. Damien is saying, I like the scene where Macy told Harry she'll always be by his side. I like that too. And we've been getting very beautiful moments with Hasty. And it'll be nice to know that now that they don't have the allergy, what we might see. I hope for some making out and some kisses and some stuff like that. That'd be really great. Some really strong, close conversations between them will also be good. Yeah, so I hope that as well. Kamalita is saying, I don't like Hasty, but I'm happy for y'all because you got the hug. It was a long time due. Yes, thank you, Kamalita. We have been wanting this hug for some time. So, and Johns is saying, in terms of the Maggie and Antonio situation, Antonio would be such a regression to Maggie's character. I don't see her with men like him anymore. Exactly. And I hope they keep it that way. But yeah, Harry and Macy, I'm happy for them. I just hope that Macy's next plot line isn't just dealing with the human Harry, because that's going to be boring. So I hope they have other things in store for them as a couple. Maybe Macy might go through a change of some sort. I remember when she became the Supreme. That was awesome. I just my hope for going into next season, as we come into the end of this season soon, is that Macy gets a lot more to do. Can we also, I didn't actually mention this, I wrote it down, but this whole thing with safe space and how they turned off the lights. Did I miss something? Maybe I missed something. When did corporate turn against safe space? I thought Macy had kind of smoothed that over.
I thought so too.
That just seemed out of nowhere. Y'all, can y'all remind us, because in the chat or in the replay, because Macy just was like, oh yeah, corporate's trying to push us out of the building so they can sell it. I was like, when did that happen? I thought
the building was hers.
Yeah, well, I thought that they had basically started to, be behind her. So I just didn't understand where that came from. Did that happen off screen in the midst of the apocalypse perhaps coming? It was just such a weird thing out of nowhere.
And then for Macy not to really address, she said, that's not on my mind right now. Try and get the whispering,
But we like, Madame is saying safe space needs to go. I like safe space. I just think they kind of forgot what they needed to do with it. So I don't know. But yes, Davian, thanks for joining us in the chat, saying Macy has been ignoring safe space for months. She really has. She probably needs to sell this as well. She honestly needs to give it to Swan and let Swan take over. I don't know. Venu fan, thanks for joining us in chat. Venu fan is saying, safe space is still probably having profit issues. Yeah. It just came out of nowhere that they were all of a sudden trying to push them out of the building. It was weird. Blue Wolf is saying Macy had to experiment with a lot of potions before she found the cure. She combined science with magic and ingredients to make a cure. I agree with you. All of that seemed to happen off screen though, Blue Wolf. So, it's kind of like we didn't, Liliana is saying, last I remember hearing about safe space, Macy still had some time to change the mind of the Shea board. Exactly. I guess they didn't have time to show that. And I agree with you, Blue Wolf. They should give safe space to Swan. That would be much better than what's going on now. I saw that too. She let the weed store hire a clown. I love the clown. I love clowns, y'all. And I thought it was very funny. She was like, what was I thinking letting the weed store hire a clown? I thought that was funny. I thought that was very good. Yeah. So that was just a little aside about that. And so the final one, y'all, because we got to talk about it, is Mel and Abigail. We love to see it. We love that, they had some moments. Abigail was as flirty as ever. I don't think it's very subtle when I think it's a total writing trick that they do when they have another character mistake another character for someone's girlfriend or boyfriend. I've seen it. We've seen it done in other shows. They did it here, which is a clear sign that they're hinting at something, y'all. Because this show just isn't subtle in that regard. And having Waverly mistake or say, is this another one of your girlfriends? And Mel being like, I am not her girlfriend. I just thought it was like, Dolph does protest too much, y'all. And I dug it. I also dug it that Abigail was like, you sure it's not, in terms of the other parent being like, is it not a British frenemies turned lover type thing? I love that as well. It was very funny to see Abigail not know how to comfort Mel, but still trying to. I thought that was also good.
That's when she still cries. She's like, oh.
Yeah, it was good. Do you think they're building this bond? Mon, do you think something's coming of it?
Yes, I think they're going. Yeah, her and Mel's gonna become friends, or either, as you say, frenemies or whatever. But I think her sister saw that too, because she saw the way that Abigail looked at when she was explaining to her about the hormones and everything, and how she was gonna cry, and then how she pushed the tissue towards her, and her sister was noticing that. But I think we see that, their, but like I was saying, where was Ruby? I thought Ruby would never leave her side either.
Yeah, Mercenary actually has a good theory that may be the truth. Mercenary says, I subscribe to the multiverse theory and think the show switches realities each episode, which may explain why sometimes we get Melby and sometimes we get Abibel. Very true. Maybe this is the other multiverse where Ruby just isn't around. Even though Ruby said last episode she would be by Mel's side. I don't know why Ruby wasn't there to help her build the thing, especially since now they can touch and everything. You would think they'd be lying in bed somewhere or something. Didn't get that. So that's something. I don't know. Joss is saying, I just want to know, where was Ruby? You think she'd be around to help Mel after the last episode? Ray is saying, Chauncey, LOL, Abby called it our baby, LOL, for crying out loud. And sister saw their vibes as well. Yep. And I think that's very telling. And this is another reason why I don't think the actor who plays Abigail is going anywhere, because I just don't think up to this very moment they would be doing that for these characters if that wasn't something they were playing the long game of. Then again, we've been playing the long game with Jordan and Maggie, and they may pull the rug from under us with that. So who knows? Maybe they just want to build something up to have Abigail or Jordan sacrifice themselves. You never know, right? So weird. Liliana is pointing out, I've been queer baited so much, I'm just taking Abigail saying our baby as a win. I agree with you. I thought it was very cute. I thought it was a great moment between them. And I think it's very telling that they had Abigail go to Mel during this, because that is very much a plot line for them. And I think they're putting that out there. Madame Scorpio saying, Abby is ready to be the mama and she wants that family life. Yes. And we are here for it. Wouldn't that be so interesting to see the two of them try to raise a kid together? Abigail and Mel. That would be so funny, seeing the way. And this is another thing. I know I keep bringing back to Maggie and Jordan, but this is another reason why we don't need Maggie with Antonio, because Abigail and Mel would be that conflicting relationship where they kind of bicker, but they also have a love underneath it all. We've already got that. And then Harry and Macy are that kind of epic love where it's like beyond magic and things like that. And so I feel like we need a sweet love too, and that would be Maggie and Jordan. We don't need another weird kind of frenemies dynamic, because we got that with Abigail and Mel. We wouldn't need the two relationships doing that on this show, in my opinion. So I don't know. I liked it. I'm still rooting for them. Do you ship Mel and Abigail, Mom? Do you see it? Do you see it happening?
It might be a triangle. It might be a triangle. Because then she would have to choose between Ruby and Abigail.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be something like, it's gonna be complicated for both of them. Yeah. It's gonna be a triangle somewhere.
Yeah.
Because in a way, I believe Mel likes Abby.
Yeah. The new fan is saying, love is complicated. I'm not even mad about Mel, Ruby, and Abby dynamic. Liliana is saying, Jordan and Maggie could be the friends to lovers, sweet romance. Exactly. The sweet romance, the friends to lovers. Harry and Macy weren't necessarily friends to lovers. They were magical beings who were working alongside each other. And yes, there was a family dynamic to it, but then it was like, oh my gosh, there's this underlying thing, which is very different from what Maggie and Jordan had. And so it's like you have 3 chances to do 3 different types of romance. You don't need to repeat any types of romances, any kind of dynamics. Madame Scorpio has got the tea for us, supposedly. Madame is saying, I heard that one of the writers said that season 4 Mel's life was going to be up, down, messy, but she'd find love. So if it's going to be messy, who's the messiest person we know, y'all? Abigail. Ruby's not messy, y'all. Ruby's, kind of being painted as the perfect relationship. So that's not messy. So if we're right that, if it's true that a writer said that, then they must have some ideas already for season 4 and what they're building up to. Yeah. So I am here for it, y'all. So that's the ship talk. So when it comes to Harry and Macy, let's hope they get a more interesting arc going forward. When it comes to Maggie and Jordan, that's who we want to see. We do not want Maggie with Antonio. That would be a regression for this character, and we don't want to see it. We like to see our girl progressing. Thank you very much. And when it comes to Mel and Abby, we love to see it. We like Ruby too, but we don't know Ruby. We don't know her here. It's like the Mariah Carey gift. I don't know her. I don't know her. so, so we're here for Mel and Abby, y'all. Okay. All right, y'all. So let us know, who are y'all shipping on the show? Where's your ship love going on right now? Let us know. Comment down below. And also, make sure to give this video a like. Please do check out I'm doing YouTube shorts now. I'm doing a variety of YouTube shorts. I'm going to be doing some funny skits here and there, along with some horror trivia and supernatural trivia, real world trivia, movie trivia, and things like that. So check out the short, give that a like as well. And also some new videos coming out. Tomorrow I will have the review for Fear Street 1994. For those of you who are looking forward to the Fear Street movie coming out on Netflix, on this Friday it'll be coming out, but your girl Chauncey K will be having an advanced review, spoiler free of course, for you all tomorrow coming out. So check that out on this channel. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so that the next time we post our videos. Thank you again, y'all. And those of you who watch Loki, I'll be here with my brother on Thursday, my lady's son as well. He'll be Damon D. Rock Robinson will be here Thursday for Loki. So let's see what some of y'all are saying in the chat before we go. Davian saying the fact that Hasty is inorganic. I mean, I didn't see no attraction in season 1, and then season 2, boom, he loves Macy. Harry had more chemistry with Mel, and was he sleeping with the elder woman? I don't know about that, Davion. No, I do think it was a little bit of a switch. I will agree with you on that. I don't think season 1 they had a Hasty romance in mind. But this is what I'm saying. I said the writers saw what the audience was seeing in terms of the chemistry between the characters and the potential of a Hasty plot line, and went that way. So that's why I think that's why we didn't see a build up in season 1 until the very end, when they were kind of sensing what people wanted. But I think in season 2 we definitely saw chemistry, and I saw it. So not everyone's gonna have the same thoughts. And Madame Scorpio says they got us with Jimmy and Macy. I mean, you saw that chemistry. So yeah, I guess we'll see what's going on with that. But we still Hasty shippers here, y'all. There will be no Hasty blasphemy in these streets, in these twisted streets, y'all. But we always appreciate y'all opinions, no matter what you say, as long as you keep it polite. So we thank you for that. And y'all have a great rest of your week, and try to stay cool out there, y'all. It's hot. It's hot.
It's hot.
Just like Mel and Abigail, it's hot.
Just had to get that one in, right?
Yes, I had to get in. It's hot. It's hot like that couple. We love it. They're so hot together. All right, y'all. Till next time.
Bye.